And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ango Show. It is Friday, January 24th, 2025. Yesterday, TNA went live, and we sure as hell are going to talk about that because that was an exceptional episode from the good people at TNA Wrestling. My name is Ango. This is Billy TKO. Today, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about AEW. There may have not been an AEW, Billy. Did you know that?
No, I did not know that until you told me off stream.
Yes. So there's a story going around that Tony Khan tried buying TNA in 2018, and there was another attempt in very, very recent times. So we're going to talk about that as well. We are live on my channel, Billy's channel, and as well on X at Ango PW. So if you guys are watching on any of these platforms, I appreciate the love. If you're on Twitter, maybe retweeting this stream would be extremely helpful. If you guys are on YouTube, make sure you guys click like on the stream. We do have a super chat goal of 5 super chats. So if you guys want to support the channel and everything that we're building here, definitely consider that. Members of the channel get higher priority when it comes to engaging with the chat. And then, of course, super chats always takes the most priority because we will be interrupted by those questions. And then, of course, one last thing I want to do, just a quick little shout out. I want to shout out some of the members: Kevin Schiffman, Todd Crow, True Styles. I see you guys in the chat. Justin Kennington. Thank you all for stopping by. Obviously, I know more will come in as we go live. The last 2 days have been very, very busy. Billy caught the vid, so he's been sick and he's quarantined and all that stuff. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. But we're back. And hopefully Billy's feeling a little bit better today.
For sure.
Listen, dude, I think yesterday's episode of TNA was sick. And
yes, it was.
There's definitely a lot to talk about when it comes to that episode of TNA.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot get over the fact that after TNA goes live, there's a story that comes out that basically Tony Khan made 2 attempts to sign and acquire TNA Pro Wrestling. So this was being talked about on the Wrestling Observer newsletter. Obviously, if anybody's going to know anything about Tony Khan and what he's doing, Dave Meltzer is very, very close to him. They're on a text basis. They have a very good relationship. I don't really trust Dave Meltzer when it comes to WWE stuff. I don't trust him sure as hell when it comes to other stuff. But when it comes to his relationship with Tony Khan, I think it's pretty well documented. It's safe to say that we could trust this. Dave Meltzer says that Tony Khan and TNA were in talks in 2018. TNA had attempted to sell the company to Tony Khan. And then basically what ended up happening was there was no agreement due to the money aspect of it. And then about a year ago, before TNA started working with WWE, there was a conversation with Scott D'Amore about selling, but they turned down Scott D'Amore's offer. Now, I do have a little bit of trouble with this particular story. There is a little thing that's kind of bothering me, so I wanted to bring it to your attention, Billy, and then get your reaction. So the first thing is, buying TNA in 2018 would make a lot of sense.
At the time,
For sure, right? Tony Khan obviously didn't have AEW yet. There was talks of AEW coming around, but there was nothing for sure, right? So obviously that makes sense. But the issue or the problem that I see here, the discrepancy that I see here is Anthem is the owner of TNA, not Scott D'Amore. So I wonder why Scott D'Amore would be the front man for those talks last year when it comes to AEW buying TNA, because it wouldn't make sense. I feel like that would be a conversation to have with
Anthem.
With Anthem, yeah, and the people there. And then also let me just remind you guys, last year, 2024, right after Hard to Kill, Scott D'Amore was let go from the company. So I am kind of curious about that. I do see a little bit of a discrepancy with that story, but when you hear Tony Khan and his attempts to buy TNA 2 different times obviously didn't work out, what's your immediate reaction to that?
Not shocking, especially knowing obviously what happens in the future, right? They do the AEW thing. I think it's just fair to say that Tony Khan has always been a quote unquote pro wrestling fan, and it seems like he's wanted to have some type of involvement in it. So, I mean, truth be told, it doesn't really shock me maybe the way that it might shock others. Now, under the circumstance that obviously he didn't acquire it, but I think the talks with Scott D'Amore is what shocks me the most because kind of like you said a moment ago, why would he be conversating with Scott D'Amore over Anthem? Why would Scott D'Amore be the front runners of that, or why would he be the front runner of that conversation? I think that just could it possibly be that just Anthem didn't take him seriously? Like, I don't know, Ango. I don't know, man.
It's very telling, to be honest. Like, okay, if we go back in time, 2018, if Tony Khan bought TNA, obviously there would be no purpose for Tony Khan to buy TNA for the tape library. It would have been, I think it's safe to assume that Tony Khan would have for sure, like he would have purchased TNA in hopes of taking the TNA brand to a national level. Some people think that maybe I'm an anti-AEW guy, but I think in 2018, personally speaking, I wasn't too big of a fan of what Anthem was doing at that time. Yes, They had a good TV product, but there was a lot of things when Anthem took over, for TNA. I looked at it as like, okay, the quality of the physical product has gone down. The booking was good. The television show was good. But like the physical product, like you could tell like they were making cuts from like a production standpoint and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't think Tony Khan would have inherited that. I do think there would have been some positives to Tony Khan buying TNA in 2018 in the sense that he's got billions of dollars. Look at the AEW product we have today. It's a very high quality product, big arenas. Imagine if Tony Khan bought TNA and then there was no AEW and he didn't create the AEW brand, but he basically rehabilitated the brand with Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks and all that stuff. Like, I do think that would have been the play. So I do think one thing that would have been a massive change is that TNA probably would have had the biggest TV deal of their life.
For sure.
And it could have been very, like, I don't even want to laugh saying this because it's so fucking crazy to me. But it's so funny to me just thinking about this. Tony Khan would have bought TNA and put TNA on TBS and TNT. Dude, they would have been on Warner Bros. Discovery, which honestly would have been fucking crazy to see because they would have, TNA has obviously struggled with that. And obviously Anthem owns TNA and they own Access TV. But for a long time, man, especially around that time, I can't remember, but like, dude, TNA or Impact Wrestling, I should say, they were doing this whole thing where they were on like Destination America and Pop TV.
Yeah, dude, they were all over the place.
They were all over the place. So if there's one thing that Tony Khan would have done at that time in 2018, he probably would have rehabilitated the brand in a very unique way to the point where TNA probably would have gotten a great TV deal. We could talk about Tony Khan's lackluster booking in AEW today. We could talk about a lot of bullshit like that. But Tony Khan did go to meetings with TV executives and pitch them on AEW, and he got them the AEW TV deal on Warner Bros. Discovery. Now, we could sit here and talk about the details of that, but Tony Khan did not have his foot in the wrestling business, nor did he have his foot in the TV business. He comes from the sports background, and he was able to secure a TV deal for AEW right away. So
now, do you think that he would have been able to get that TV deal
with TNA?
At the time.
Yes, I feel like if anything, he probably would have had even more suitors. Because hey, my name is Tony Khan. I'm buying a wrestling brand that's been around for a very long time, and we're going to rehabilitate this. And I'm going to be bringing in some heavy hitters to make this a unique TV product. Those names, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Cody Rhodes, Hangman Page, Chris Jericho. Like, that probably would have happened. They probably would have got a massive TV deal for TNA. So in 2018, in hindsight, it probably would have been really, really cool, right?
Yeah, at the time, especially
at the time. And then, of course, you got to remember the fact that in 2024, 2025, Tony Khan's booking has become atrocious.
Not the best. Not the best.
So Tony Khan, at first, initially would have been like, oh, that would have been badass, right?
Yeah.
Watching what AEW has become, thank God he has not bought TNA, and thank God Anthem has figured out a way to conduct business and to grow and to have a substantial offer from, for partnerships and stuff like that with other companies. Like, other companies want to work with them. Other companies see their value. They've built something special. It took a lot of time, a lot of rehabilitation.
Yep.
We could sit here and argue about what show we subjectively think is better, but what we can't argue is that TNA has done a really good job of staying alive as a company, growing as a company, creating a company culture where talent are happy and the staff are happy. They've done a really good job
at keeping themselves around.
And listen, like they were doing this stuff before the partnership with WWE. So
exactly.
So now you got the partnership with WWE, and now you could fire on all cylinders and really grow. Now, what makes me really intrigued here is before WWE and TNA started working with each other last year, there was that second offer for Tony Khan and AEW to try and purchase TNA.
Yeah.
And this is where I think I have a little bit more of a thank God they didn't, thank God they didn't, thank God they didn't. Because initially, TNA in 2018, it could have benefited greatly, right? Impact
at the
Wrestling,
time.
yeah. But when you move forward and you look at what they've built last year, I could genuinely say I'm extremely excited that Tony Khan did not buy them, because I think two things would have happened. Tony Khan would have bought TNA, mostly for its tape library.
Yep.
I think Tony Khan may have absorbed some of the talent, but basically what he would have done was try to merge the TNA and Ring of Honor product as one. And I do not like that. And really the reason why I fell out of love with the idea of Tony Khan even buying TNA was because I don't like what he did with Ring of Honor. Now, I want to offer context, because this is going to be clipped. This is going to be talked about. This is stuff that I'm going to be saying that people will try to use against me.
Yes.
I am in no way saying that what Tony Khan has done with ROH is worse than Sinclair Broadcasting when they owned ROH. We could sit here and talk about it all day. I don't like the booking of ROH. I don't like how ROH is being done or used.
Yeah.
But a lot of people are forgetting how shitty Sinclair Broadcasting was as an owner of Ring of Honor.
Oh my God.
So at least Tony Khan kept ROH alive, and he actually did something with it. I don't like what he did or how he does it, but at least he's doing something way more than Sinclair Broadcasting ever did.
For sure.
So for that, I will give Tony Khan his props, and I want to make that very clear. But TNA would have been a dead brand last year if Tony Khan bought them.
Overall, man, if you take a look at the show from TNA last night, I think it speaks volumes on, going forward a little bit on like being thankful that Tony Khan didn't buy AEW. Because that show last night, man, it was spectacular, dude. Seeing it live was crazy. I'm not gonna lie, because they haven't been live in 8 years?
Yeah, something like that.
That's insane. Very insane to me.
Well, it's tough too, because TNA is in a very different spot right now. Like TNA has a pretty good. They have a pretty good product, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But the thing is, their resources are limited compared to AEW and WWE. So the more that they go live, the word that I'm getting was, and I talked about this about a year or two ago, the plan is for TNA to go live more often, more regularly. But you have to build up to it, right? And it's a lot harder building up to that. Right now, the word is that they're going to be going live once a month. So they'll go live, and then the day after they'll tape, and then they'll go live and tape. Which, if that's the case, like I'm cool with that. But eventually, I want TNA to go live every day. I think TNA has a very, very unique product. I think they're a very good product.
Yes.
I think people need to look at TNA a little bit more seriously. And people need to understand that being that third large company in North America, they are dealt a bad hand, because we know that when it comes to these contracts, Tony Khan and Nick Khan can offer big top level contracts. TNA just lost Jordan Grace. TNA is losing Josh Alexander,
regardless of what people think.
And then the immediate thing is, well, TNA's buried, they're dead. No, because this has been TNA's whole issue forever, is that they weren't always able to compete with those contracts. So what do they do differently? And now you guys are starting to see Mustafa Ali signs with the company, actually commits to the company. They bring in Mance Warner. Frankie Kazarian is re-signed. There's a couple other names that I'm specifically hearing about that are set to join the company very, very soon. And then meanwhile, they have that partnership with WWE which I want to talk about that too, because yesterday we saw some heavy hitters join the company. But I think this is a step in the right direction for TNA, and I'm just super thankful that Tony Khan didn't buy them. I think it's just a lot better. And listen, let me just make this very clear too, right? And Billy, you could respond to this, but as happy as I am that Tony Khan didn't buy TNA, I want to be very, very clear. As much as I do love WWE's booking and I do love WWE's connections and resources, I am not advocating for WWE to ever buy TNA, because first of all, I love their partnership and I love what TNA does even outside of their partnership. But I love the idea of a third company who is trailing AEW and WWE. I love the idea of a third company where, they're going to have a little bit more of a hardcore audience. They're not going to be able to reach the casuals as much. They're not going to have the resources to do that. But I love the idea of a third company applying pressure from behind. And if WWE were to buy TNA, I don't think it would be in good hands of WWE either.
Yeah, so I think it goes down to this, right? Like, I actually agree with you on this statement. I think TNA needs to live on their own. I think after what we seen last night, just it felt, number one, rejuvenating, right? Because it wasn't WWE and it wasn't AEW, so it was fresh. And for somebody who doesn't watch TNA very much, like myself, it was just, I don't know. I felt like a sense of like, oh, what I'm seeing is talent that is actually excited to work. They're excited to do these things. Then you see somebody like Mustafa Ali show up who saying that he's signing a contract with TNA. That's amazing, man. So I think when it comes to the partnership with WWE, you kind of leave it where it's at, right? You don't have to do too much and you don't have to do too little. I think what they're doing right now is perfect. I know they have the Full Sail thing coming up soon as well. So I think that's going to put them in, a really good like production, right? And that's one thing that, at least for me watching TNA, the production was always one of the things that drew me away from it, right? Is that I didn't feel like their production was good enough. And one thing for me, from doing music and stuff like that, production is the biggest thing, right? Whether it be the way it looks on camera or the way that, it sounds, whatever. TNA always lacked that to me. But now they have, because here's the thing, you don't have to go out and buy TNA. WWE doesn't need to buy them. What they can do is help them, because it's allowed to be true. WWE doesn't have to buy everybody that they come in contact with. They could just help each other out. Yeah. And WWE is currently doing that. So I don't know. Refreshing to me, man. Refreshing.
Yeah. Well, one thing too is, the word that's kind of floating on the IWC is that WWE is using TNA to help push for international TV deals to keep AEW away from them. Good.
Yeah, honestly. Yeah,
that's great. Like, that's if I were WWE and I'm going to give you some of my top talent, I'm going to give you talent and we're going to help you grow. Let's help you grow to stunt AEW's growth. And, that's the beauty of it. Like,
Ango, I got a $20 super chat on my channel.
Okay. Yeah. Get to that in just 1 second.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish everything you need to do.
Actually, no, you're good. Go ahead and take care of it.
Well, it's from Denisha Lane. And she said, "Hey, Billy and Ango, thanks for the live streams. I enjoyed TNA yesterday. TK denying Ricky Starks from the release. He's being a petty person and his merch has been removed. I'm glad Ricky is doing work in the indies and hopefully going to WWE." That's what Denisha says. Well, Denisha, thank you so much for enjoying mine and Ango streams. And I would agree. It is kind of petty of Tony to not release Ricky Starks, but that's just me.
Yeah, I feel like I've been talking about that for a very long time.
Yeah, it's been a consistent conversation. And I enjoyed TNA yesterday as well.
TNA was really, really outstanding, and like I said, I want to talk more about the TNA show in a little bit.
Yeah,
there was some more stuff that I want to discuss, which I personally listen. I'm gonna just shoot straight here. I'm disappointed, and I'm looking at. I'll just call Tony Khan stupid. So, so Billy. The thing that's been killing me lately is that a lot of people are calling Tony Khan Vince McMahon, in the
Mhm.
sense of how restrictive he's being, how maybe he's taking things a little too much. We heard your
Yeah.
super chat about the Ricky Starks thing. I've said
Yeah.
this a lot. But now there's another thing that we all have to be mad about with Tony Khan. And again, this comes from Dave Meltzer. Dave is close to Tony. Maybe this is, probably accurate, I would say. Dave Meltzer recently wrote that according to one person involved with booking talent at the independent level for AEW, AEW's younger talent are not allowed to do matches in Las Vegas over WrestleMania week. Now, Tony Khan or AEW have yet to comment on the situation.
Yeah.
I have a whole bunch to say about this, but I'll let you respond to that first.
I mean, are we shocked? Like, let's be real here. Everything that is currently going on and all the backlash that Tony is actually receiving, don't you think he's actually going to be like, yeah, no, I'm going to continue to do it? Tony has so much money, it doesn't matter what he does, right? He could do this. Yeah. He could tell people, he could be like, yeah, no, I don't want you working. And we're going to look at him and I'm going to say, oh yeah, Tony, you're an asshole, right? What does my voice mean to Tony Khan? Let's be real here for a moment. What does my voice actually mean to him? It should mean something, but kind of like Vince way back when, it don't mean shit, right? So I can sit here and be mad and say, "Oh yeah, Tony, you're being whack and you're not letting your talent perform at one of the biggest, not one of the biggest, it is the biggest weekend in pro wrestling, right? No matter what people want to say, it is the biggest weekend in pro wrestling. And this is the time where your talent can go out and they can get noticed and potentially attract new fans to you and your product. Because whether you like to believe it or not, you're advocating for a hardcore audience and you're not putting on for this casual audience. Go let that younger talent put on in front of a potential casual audience, because the great thing about WWE weekend is so many independent places come into wherever WWE is at the time, and they put on shows throughout the weekend. So say, for instance, a family comes out and they want to find things to do for that weekend. Friday, you got an independent show. Saturday, probably during the day, you have an independent show. Then WrestleMania, and go let them do their thing. I don't know, man. It blows my mind that he doesn't. I think he's whack for it, but overall, it is what it is. It's Tony. It's his money. He's going to do what he wants to do with it. Whatever.
Yeah. This company just drew 633,000 viewers on Wednesday. They're getting absolutely annihilated by NXT. And WWE has this whole thing where all of a sudden Triple H is down to work with all these companies. Now you see Tony Khan's approach is a little bit different, because Tony Khan was like, yeah, we're going to let you do all this and we're going to let you work everywhere. Listen, here's my problem with it. This is why I think Tony Khan is absolutely dumb. I think as a business owner, it's his money, not mine, so do whatever you want. But your company is losing momentum. Your company is not producing a good enough product where people genuinely care about it. By the way, if younger talent aren't able to work WrestleMania week, right? But your older talent are, like if you have Jon Moxley working GCW, let me just remind everybody that GCW and Jon Moxley, they've worked a lot together, especially over the years. Sure. Jon Moxley is the world champion, and he's arguably the fucking worst storyline in AEW history.
Yeah.
And so you would let your guy who is in the worst storyline with the biggest stink surrounding your company, you would probably go let him work GCW, the Collective, you would let him go do some indies. But then maybe guys like Private Party or I don't know, Sammy Guevara, or Jungle Boy. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I'm just throwing random names. But you have a lot of young talent. Let them work WrestleMania weekend. Let's take advantage of the fact that WWE has this business booming, because that's your marketing that you don't have to pay for. These indie companies will pay your talent to show up. Tell your talent to wear an AEW shirt. Tell them to wear AEW merchandise. When they are announced coming to the ring, AEW's very own Sammy Guevara. Like, this is marketing. It's free marketing. It's free press that you get to your events. And the thing is, this is like my honest to God opinion. I have to be so honest here. It pisses me off. but this is what you got to do to grow your business. And
Yeah.
so WrestleMania week is the biggest weekend in professional wrestling. And you have Super Card of Honor, and you have, we don't even know if he's going to do Super Card of Honor. But when I hear that you're going to be restricting your talent from working WrestleMania weekend, especially the younger guys, I think the best thing we don't even know if he's going to do Super Card of Honor, but when I hear that you're going to be restricting your talent from working WrestleMania weekend, especially the younger guys, I think the best thing you could do, the best thing you can absolutely do in this situation is to say, go out there and represent us well. And, that's how I look at it. That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I also want to throw one more thing out there, because this is really, really important. But the more Tony Khan restricts talent from doing things, he's going against what he originally said his company was and what his policies were. And so the reason why I think this is bad, it's not just the fact that you have a scenario where your talent are being restricted, right? But you also have a scenario where your talent are going to end up getting frustrated with you to the point where they're not going to want to work for you anymore. And once you get to that point, you are now reaching Vince McMahon territory. And we're already seeing it, bro. That's what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And listen, they got to change. They got to grow. They got to, their business has to get better. And I think we are living at a time where, they're not doing well, bro. They're not. And somebody needs to sit down with Tony Khan and say, listen, like, what are we going to do differently? We're not doing well.
Yeah, because it's not sitting right with the fans just aren't having it anymore. And now that people are noticing it, it's no good, man. It's no good at all.
Like, dude, and like, I don't know, like, it's disappointing for the fact that we are living at a time where AEW is not the hot commodity anymore. So they just continue to make it worse.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. And my own personal reason for this is because my first ever WrestleMania experience, dude, I went to a whole bunch of indie shows that I've never even heard of before. And that's how I discover new talent. So it got me to the point where, like, my first WrestleMania that I went to, AEW didn't exist. So you best believe that when AEW brought in Darby Allin, I saw Darby Allin for the first time at WrestleMania weekend. Of course, I took a little bit of attention to him. I followed him along. So guess what? When he joined AEW, I knew exactly who he was, and I was excited to see this. So to me, it's a tool to grow your business. We can sit here and act like AEW doesn't need to grow their business, but the truth is they absolutely do, because their numbers are in the shitter. And when your numbers are, when you go out and you brag about beating NXT for the longest time, and then NXT's kicking your ass, a whole bunch of people with college, scholarships, NIL deals, and a lot of people that don't come from pro wrestling, when they're the commodity that starts to kill your product on a weekly basis, like at this point, you need to do something different.
For sure. I agree.
Crazy. Crazy.
Very.
I'm seeing some people in the chat say that there's some connection issues.
Yeah.
I'm noticing on my end everything is completely fine. Billy, I don't know if it's because like maybe is it on your stream or
no. I'm not having like too hard of a time on my end.
Let me see something.
It might be with mine. I'm going to end my live stream over on mine.
And see if that's the issue?
Yeah, let's see if that's the issue. All right.
Maybe that will fix it.
Hopefully so.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing anything on my end. I'm not seeing frames.
I wasn't even seeing anything on my end. I just figured let's try it.
Yeah, if you guys are having connection issues, go ahead and just try refreshing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard for me to identify connection issues when it shows that my connection is good. So,
that's what I'm saying. And even on my end, it said excellent.
Yeah. Okay.
Very weird.
Shout out to Right Hand Cam, member for 25 months. What a G. What a stud. He says Tony is stupid for not letting his younger talent work. Exactly, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
That's it's like, oh, you're a grifter. You're a hater.
Oh, dude, people hate to hear people talk about their favorite company, and I get it, man. If you love AEW, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But understand that it's not for everybody. You know what I mean? And not and people like myself and Ango here. If I don't like something, dude, I'm going to critique it, and I'm going to make my critique be very loud and prominent. So when we're coming on here and we're talking about everything with like WrestleMania weekend, for instance, it's like, yeah, man, that's a problem. No matter what the AEW fans and no matter what they want to say about it, the proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah.
Shit's sinking. No matter what way you look at it, the shit is sinking, and something needs to be done about it. So God forbid, maybe we look like two podcasters that are just being extra annoying, and people are getting mad at it, and whatever, these guys suck. Okay, yeah, we can suck all whatever, right? Problem is, that's not fixing the show. We're just trying to make the show better, but for some odd reason, that comes off as, oh, they're haters, they're grifters, whatever. No, dude, the shit sucks. Fix it. That's it.
Yeah, it's sad, man. It's I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. It's just they're not the things I complain about now are the things I've complained about before CM Punk left or before Cody Rhodes left. And the sad thing is, like, you could call me a grifter. I think the grifting thing is the funnest. Cool. I think that's like the cool thing.
Yeah.
I think calling me a grifter is fun, because it just goes to show you that Tony Khan has very, 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 very hardcore audience.
Yeah.
Personally speaking, I think it is interesting to me to see how many people speak out of their ass in the IWC, because they'll see one tweet or they'll see one video, and the reality is that you're not going back 5 years,
right?
Because you don't care enough to go back 5 years and dig through content to see what
No, right.
Tony Khan is sabotaging the stream. Don't say that, guys. What is wrong with the stream?
Bro, what is going on? I ended it on my end. What is happening?
Ain't that some shit, bro? That's funny as fuck. Damn, Ango, forgot to pay your internet bill? Yeah,
bro.
Drop me a super chat, bro. Pay for my internet.
Bro, somebody help with the internet. We're going down. The ship is fucking sinking.
Yeah. I don't know why my stream is lagging, though. I've never had this issue before.
Oh, boy, got that 3G data.
3G, bro. This shit. I mean, it's funny because I'm looking on my end and it says it's excellent. So I can't. If it's 3G, that's crazy.
Bro, it can't be on my end. I'm not live. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm on Discord.
Dog, that's wild. Oh no. What's
Your
happening?
stream just ended and now it's back on. Bro, the stream got COVID.
Bro, I swear to God, listen, because I was live on X as well. So I was like, okay, maybe it's like the multi-stream thing, like fucking up.
Yeah.
But between X and YouTube, this was almost at like 500 viewers. So I don't know. I don't know what is happening.
Bro, it says excellent. Are they trolling?
I swear to God, I don't know. Let me check my phone. That would be funny if this was a troll, though.
Yeah, bro, it would be hilarious.
But Kevin Schiffman and Darth Bane are members on the channel. I don't think they're gonna.
No, I don't think they'll troll. Everybody's saying it's good for them now.
I'm checking on the phone. This is funny. Hey, that's funny though. Somebody said I don't pay my internet bill. Drop me a super chat. Just
bro, help me out.
Nah, on the channel, I don't think they're gonna.
No, I don't think they'll troll. Everybody's saying it's good for them now.
Just use the this is funny. You guys are good. Keep going off in the chat.
This is hilarious.
This is funny.
Bro, this is hilarious.
You guys are making me laugh. I'm trying to figure this out, so keep going.
Somebody said David said it's Tony Khan doing it. Bro, heard us talking shit. He wasn't having it.
I'm watching on my phone, and it looks flawless.
Let me pull it up on my phone.
Maybe it's y'all. Maybe y'all collectively don't pay
Yeah,
internet bills.
did y'all pay your internet bill?
Y'all got that Wi-Fi connection from
Right. Do y'all need to go to McDonald's? Yeah, I don't know.
That is strange though. I don't know why.
Well, they didn't pay their internet.
The only thing I could think of, because we did have connection issues one time when we were doing this, and it could be like the OBS plugins.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Worst case, honestly, like if I have to go pay for StreamYard again, I will.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Maybe we just go back to StreamYard.
We have some breaking news.
Oh, we have breaking news.
So we got some breaking news.
Right hand cam super chat at $5. I'm not hating on you. I'm calling it out like how I'm seeing it. How can pack a 3-month storytelling into 20 to 30 minutes?
Okay. Shout out to Right Hand Cam. He just dropped a super chat for $5. It's going into the internet bill collection. He says, I'm not hating on AEW. I'm calling it out like how I'm seeing it. How can you pack a 3-month storytelling into 20, 30 minutes? That's exactly what's happening, obviously. Yeah. It's their whole thing is really ass backwards. And
it is.
Yeah. I mean, listen, like I don't want to, I want to see that company get better. I want to see that company do the right thing. Why? Because I genuinely love AEW. I love going on HBO Max and going back and watching early AEW. I don't like what the product is today. I don't think so. I don't think there's anything that they're doing that's good. That like is like really, really good. I watched Dynamite this past week, and Billy, we didn't get to talk about it because we weren't live. So let's talk about this for a second. Yeah. They opened up with like, in terms of like the segment itself, it was so fucking cool how they did it. There were some logic gaps.
Yeah.
But it was sick as fuck. And then you get all the way to the end of the show, and the Death Riders thing was like really ass.
Yeah. So, but the opening was great.
So you got the show starting off for the first hour. It feels like 2021 AEW, and the last hour feels like fucking 2025, the death of the company type thing. So yeah. Shout out to Right Hand Cam for the super chat. Darth Bane dropped $1.99. Using that McDonald's Wi-Fi again. I see. LOL. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with the Wi-Fi shit.
You guys got to keep dropping the super chats because it's messed up over here. The bills need to be paid.
I don't know what it is. I'm trying to figure it out though. I swear to God, like I can't figure it out. I honestly can't figure it out though because my connection is so good. So that's the only thing that's bothering me, unfortunately, guys. Like I don't know. If it showed me that my connection was bad, then I would change the bit rate.
Right. Yeah, but there's nothing showing.
Yeah. So that kind of sucks. And we dropped a shit ton of viewers from it, so that's when I knew, obviously, you guys weren't lying because people were dropping. So that obviously dramatically changed things. Neighbors changed the Wi-Fi password.
But now the problem, they're trolling in the chat, bro.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Keep the chat going, baby.
Oh, my God. Somebody said neighbors changed the Wi-Fi password.
Yeah.
Bro, that's hilarious.
So we have breaking news.
Yeah, bring it on.
Shout out to Darth Bane and Right Hand Cam for the super chats.
Yes.
Breaking news. So Fightful Select has reported while we are live here on the Ango Show. So this is breaking news. That AEW has been among the top streamed live sports event on the Max app since the deal has started. This is the first time we have. This is the first time we've got an update on anything regarding AEW on Max. Billy, what do you think?
I mean, number one, I mean, that's good, right? You know, I don't think that's a horrible thing. I question though. They said top sports, one of the top. What? I'm not familiar very much with HBO Max or Max in general. Do they have the NBA on there?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And
so they do have, and they have NHL.
Yep.
The question is where do they rank under those two? Are they in the middle? Are they under both of them? Are they at the top? Where do they really rank next to all three of those? Because that's such a that statement that Sean Rossett put out. That's such a like fine line of like, yeah, they're competing in the top. Like
Yeah.
what is considered the top when those are the two, right?
Yeah.
So where are they sitting in between those two? We obviously know the cable numbers and what those look like, and we have to ask the next question: is like, yeah, is it just streaming in the moment while it's live, or is it during or after the show is over? Like, I think those questions need to be answered too.
Yeah, the thing about AEW on Max that's like really hard is that there's not a lot of transparency of like how many viewers. There's people that are coming out with random numbers on Twitter, and it's like, oh, 39,000 viewers. I seen this whole thing, and it kind of pissed me off, where people were talking about AEW on Max like it's reaching new viewers or not reaching new viewers. We don't know what kind of viewers they're reaching, because here's the thing: if you paid for cable, and let's say you paid for cable specifically to watch AEW on TBS and TNT, well, fuck, dude, I also pay for Max, so why would I pay for both? Let me get rid of cable because the cable bill is more expensive, so that I'm just going to watch on Max. We don't really know how many people are truly new viewers, but if AEW is ranked amongst the top, I mean, yeah, it's not fully specific. I don't think there's enough evidence that supports like that it means there's a lot of viewers watching it.
Right.
But I do think to a certain extent that's like a good thing, right? Like for sure. We don't know the exact numbers, but it's up there. Great. Now the real question is, how many viewers are sports getting on Max? I can tell you guys.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this, like, at the time, this was 4 years ago. At the time, there was some serious issues with the Max streaming service. At the time, it was called HBO Max. Yeah. It was not profitable. This was not a streaming service that was expected to take off. It was very expensive to run and to maintain and to acquire content and IPs. There was a lot of stuff, you know, the parent company had to sell it. Then they sold it to Warner Bros. And then Warner Bros. Obviously merged with Discovery. So then it became Warner Bros. Discovery. That streaming service has kind of gone through hell and back. And it's hard, I think, for a streaming service to just sell people on the idea of live sports, because TNT, TBS, like, they don't have every single NBA game. They just have like 2 to 4 games a week, you know, because it's shared amongst ESPN and all these other companies. Next year, Amazon and NBC will have the NBA. TNT won't have it. So the thing is, like, right now, AEW's numbers could be ranked amongst the top, but how strong are those numbers in general? We don't really know. That's the gray area. Right. However, I do think it is good news for AEW to be up there.
Right. In that top, in the top of that list.
Yeah, for sure. You don't want AEW to be on the bottom of that list.
Right.
I think what will be very telling is when they have pay-per-views on the Max streaming service. I think that will be very telling. Do they do the same amount of buys that they had when they were previously just on pay-per-view and that's it? Or how is it going to be when they're exclusively on the Max streaming service? Obviously, we'll find out. But it's listen, there's a couple things I want to see with AEW on Max. This is the thing. If you guys watch AEW on Max, the streaming service, it is higher quality than traditional TV. I don't know why. I don't know why.
I have watched it.
Yeah, it's like way better quality. I don't know how they did it, what it is, but their quality is like absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
I almost wonder what it would be like if Warner Bros. Discovery were to just fully invest in the Max streaming service as like a cable replacement. Meaning, they obviously have the Discovery properties. They have the Warner Discovery properties, the Warner Bros. Properties. They have the sports. They're going to be losing some sports. But like, imagine if they said, listen, like,
because NBA is going back to NBC, right?
It's going to NBC and Amazon next year.
That's okay. Yeah, continue.
Amazon, NBC, and ESPN, I believe.
Yep.
So the way that I'm looking at that, though, is like maybe, just maybe, Max, the streaming service, goes to a point where it's like, hey, Like, obviously, they're going to keep their TV channels.
Francis Loop super
But maybe
chatted
just putting everything under
$5.
one.
NXT is not killing him. Tony Khan and Ango are killing themselves. They have the best roster. They need creative and direction.
Francis Loop dropped a $5 super chat, and he says NXT is not killing AEW. Tony Khan and AEW are killing themselves. They have the best roster. They have the best roster. They need creative and direction. So the thing is, NXT is killing AEW. Yes, I think AEW's issues are it's all from within, of course. But when you look at a comparison between the third brand of WWE, the developmental brand, the third brand, whatever you want to call it, when perspective versus AEW's A brand, A show, NXT is killing them. And well, I think what it is that wrestling fans have been very, 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 very clear on. I think they've been very clear on, hey, we want women's wrestling to matter. We want these things, representation and diversity to matter. NXT does all of those things, right? And like, I think, again, when you're talking subjectively about things you like, what I like and what you guys like are going to be different things, whatever.
For sure.
But I think a majority of the people are saying, hey, like, we want the women to matter and feel important. And then you watch AEW, and AEW signs a wonderful women's roster, but then they're not really being utilized. It's like, yes, they do need better creative and they need a better vision and direction to move forward. But NXT is doing the thing that people are requesting. Of course, people are going to watch NXT. So that's kind of how it is.
Right hand cam super chatted $5.
Super chat?
Did you forget to pay your internet bill again? Smiley face.
Right hand cam says for $5 super chat, did you forget to pay your internet bill again? No, sir. I don't know why we're having the connection issues today. So that is
dude,
a little.
What is going on?
It is a little unfortunate, but I mean, listen, man. Like, it is what it is. You just, I don't know. I don't know. But you know, hey, listen, it goes back to the AEW on Max thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, they got paid a lot of money to be there, which is great, phenomenal. Regarding my internet, my bill is paid. I have fiber internet. I don't know what the issue is, so maybe I can get a TV deal with Max on the streaming service, and the Ango show goes everywhere.
Hook us up.
Yeah,
Somebody said bad weather in Michigan. The weather is horrible right now.
That is very true too.
Yeah. So for anybody wondering, that could definitely play a part. The weather is horrible. It's freezing.
I feel like it would tell me, but it's all right.
It would. I think it would. I don't know. Ango, pay the bill. Pay the bill.
We're one super chat away from hitting the super chat goal, so we'll see.
Dude, call WWE, AEW, whoever's payroll you're on, and tell them to pay your bill, man.
Man, I'm on everybody's payroll. Can't you tell?
Yeah, dude, tell them to pay your bill.
I do think it is funny. That is, oh my God. When people say that you're on somebody's payroll.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Right hand cam
I think
super
it's
chatted
hilarious.
$5. I'm in Flint, so yeah, the weather is bad.
Right hand cam, we hit the super chat goal. Let's go.
Come on.
Okay, yeah. So listen, right hand cam dropped another $5. He says, I'm in Flint, so yeah, the weather is bad. It is, dude. I don't get it. And I have such a big weekend ahead of me, which is like, I'm really hoping that the weather is not bad, but unfortunately it is what it is. I don't know. Yeah, I apologize, guys, for the technical issues. Honestly, it could be the weather. On my end, it shows connection is fine, but what I will do for our next stream is I will use StreamYard. Honestly, I think I'll just pay for StreamYard, and as much as I hate it, and I'll figure it out.
We'll put it together. I've always been a fan of StreamYard. They just they're interesting.
It's just everybody does it, and I don't know. I kind of like this. Like, I like the simplicity of this. But you know, at the end of the day, if that's what we got to do, we are using, like, I'm using third-party plugins, and maybe I'll just use StreamYard. Honestly, I think that might be the way to do it. I've been very happy with this look, so maybe I can keep that going on StreamYard.